Hi guys, welcome back to the multimedia channel. I hope that your day is off to a good start, and of course that you had a very good weekend. Well, I did. All thanks to God. I want to say a very big thank you to you, of course, as always. To those of you who are already subscribed to the channel, it goes a long way in encouraging me, to keep doing what I'm doing. By the way, I missed you guys. I missed you who are yet to subscribe. Rather, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please hit the subscribe button, and please remember to always like, share, and comment on the content that I share. All right, so today there are quite a number of things I want to talk about. I believe all of us are happy with the Super Eagles, especially with what we saw last Saturday, in the AFCON qualifier match against Benin Republic. Yeah, so that's where I really want to begin today's discussion, and then after which I will dive into the Premier League. Yeah, so basically I'll be giving my thoughts, my reflections on Super Eagles 3-0 victory against Benin Republic on Saturday. So I was super impressed, even though the performance wasn't really 100%, but from that game we also saw what we can expect from this Super Eagles side. I've often said it that we are about the best star-studded team in the entire continent of Africa. I mean, we have our players who are playing their trade across Europe, and these players are not just playing, they are really performing. I mean, if you get to their various club sides, so there's absolutely no reason why the Super Eagles cannot really win the AFCON 2025. Of course, we know that they got to the finals in 2024, but we expect better from them. Yeah, so basically in that match against Benin Republic at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium on Saturday, we almost every player in that match was on top of their game. Like I said, they were not really 100% impressive, but it shows what we can expect from them moving forward. Yeah, so I can tell you that, of course, I watched the entire match, and I can tell you that the guys were really relaxed. We saw a high level of commitment on the part of each player. This was way better than what we saw under Finidi. Each player in this team was willing to give their best. They were willing to really play and show the stuff that they are made of. And then it has continued to raise this question around on social media, whether the issues that we were having, the draws, the losses that we recorded under Finidi was actually his fault, or it was a fault of the players. And in my opinion, I feel like Finidi, he wasn't really in good terms with the players, and that sort of influenced their performance in the matches that they played while he was in charge of the team. They were basically not happy with him, and you could tell from their play under his administration. And then what we saw since Eguaveon actually took charge. Of course, we saw Victor Osimhen's very wonderful goal, 6 minutes, just 6 minutes after he came on, to make it 2 for the Super Eagles. Of course, Ademola Lookman actually got the first goal for the Super Eagles side. He actually also got the third goal. That's speaking of Ademola Lookman, who, by the way, has been nominated for the Ballon d'Or following his very impressive performance in last season, in his Atalanta side. So these are two guys we really should be looking out for moving forward. Of course, you also had the likes of Victor Boniface. These are very wonderful players who are doing really amazingly well. And of course, we know that Victor Osimhen has finally moved to Galatasaray, and that has sort of put an end to the months of controversy surrounding his transfer and all of that. So he's joined Italian side Galatasaray on a loan deal. He was supposed to be a club in Saudi Arabia, but I think that failed because Osimhen was not interested in going to Saudi, according to some reports. And of course, there were also reports that Napoli actually increased their fees, and that was why the Saudi club actually pulled out of the deal. He was also supposed to sign for England side Chelsea, but of course there were reports that he wasn't really okay with what they were offering him, that it was way below what he was being paid at Napoli, and the player didn't want that. But finally thank God that all of that has been put to rest now with his loan move to Galatasaray. So in the next 1 year, we'll get to see how he performs for the club. And there have been admiration, there have been praises around the decision of the NFF to actually include Reno Stars head coach, that's Daniel Ogunmodede, and then Rangers head coach Fidelis Ilechukwu, to be part of the team to actually help Eguaveon to make the right decisions. I mean, it's one decision that many Nigerians have continued to praise, and I feel like we're beginning to see the gains of that decision. Of course, from the first match, I know you can easily just argue and say it's too early to conclude, but for me, I feel like these guys are really going to do well moving forward. Of course, they play against Rwanda tomorrow in their second match. The game kicks off at 2 p.m. They actually left Nigeria for Kigali, the capital of Rwanda, on Sunday, ahead of that match tomorrow. So we'll get to see what actually happens. And of course, we recall that the NFF had actually announced that the technical director of the Nigerian Football Federation, who is Eguaveon, will now take charge of the Super Eagles. I mean, that's for the sake of those of us who are not aware about how Eguaveon came about in the first place. Yeah, so the NFF had actually announced that he will take charge of the team, for the upcoming 2025 AFCON in Morocco, after the German tax authorities actually insisted that the body, that the NFF, will have to offset the concomitant tax percentage on Bruno Labbadia's salary. Labbadia was, the coach that the NFF had actually concluded plans to bring in, of course, a foreign coach to bring in to actually head the Super Eagles. But because of these whole tax issues, the deal didn't pull through, and so Eguaveon has now been handed the responsibility. And so I'll leave you to answer. Do you think Eguaveon is a man for the job, or should we wait maybe after tomorrow's game and then after some games? But of course, like I said, he's been put in charge of the team, and I trust that he will do well. I mean, I could see this huge dose of confidence and calmness, just like you see from Ancelotti in Real Madrid. I mean, I feel like Eguaveon already understands that these players know what they are doing, that they know what their responsibilities are, and that his own job is to try to show them one or two things, and not to necessarily sully his relationship with them. That's just what I feel. I appreciate his calmness and his maturity. I just wish him well. I really wish him well. So after the international break, apart from the Super Eagles, other players across England, the likes of Portugal, the likes of Spain, Croatia, all of them went back to their home countries to represent their their countries in their various tournaments and all of that. So after the international break, of course, the Premier League returns next week. I mean, I think it's on the 14th or so, and then but of course, we saw Ronaldo actually score his 900th career goal in their victory against Croatia, and then another one against Scotland. So he has a total of 901 goals now. I mean, it's such an unbeatable record for a man his age. I think he's about 38 or 39 now, but he never stopped scoring. So just yesterday that they played against Scotland, he scored again, making it a total of 901. So maybe I think he wants to get to 1,000 before he finally decides to retire. And I feel like he has the capacity. He trains really hard, he eats, he does things that other players would ordinarily not want to do well. So in the English Premier League, we are already 3 matches gone, and I don't know how much your club has impressed so far. I mean, it's okay for you to say it's too early to judge, but I mean, it's not too early. Any point counts. If you lose a match, if you lose a point, it really counts. It would to some extent affect your performance in the long run. So after 3 matches, who do you see winning the Premier League? I mean, if you ask me, I would say Man City again, because Of course, it's just Man City and Liverpool that are 100%. Let's just wait and see. But from what we've seen so far, I was thinking that Manchester United would actually compete for the Premier League. Looking at the caliber of players they brought in, I think about 4 or 5. But with what we've seen after 3 matches, 2 losses and one win, the win was even, I don't know, it was just luck on the side of Manchester United. I don't see them competing for the Premier League or even qualifying for the Champions League next season, except I don't know. I believe that I think that the players are no longer comfortable with Eric Ten Hag, if you ask me, and it's always an issue if players are not comfortable with the coach. It sort of affects their performance in matches. Of course, we saw it under Mourinho when he fell out with some of the players, the likes of Pogba and the rest of them. We saw how it really affected their performance. Still, the team had to let him go. I don't know. I feel like that's what is really happening under Ten Hag, because I don't see a reason why a club that bought over 4 or 5 players, midfielders, defenders, which have been a major part of the problem at the club, are still not playing well. I don't see a reason why. Succumbing to a 3-0 victory against Liverpool. That's so shameful, really shameful. I don't know, other clubs, Arsenal, of course, they won 2, drew 1, and then Chelsea, they're off to a good start to some extent, after winning, I think 6-0 against Wolves, and then we'll just get to see how the season goes. But like I said, I see Man City winning this trophy again, and I wouldn't really be surprised if that happens. Alright, so as usual, I want you to share your thoughts on the comment section. Do you see the Super Eagles side winning Rwanda tomorrow? How far do you see them going on the AFCON tournament in 2025, of course, in Morocco? Do you think that Eguaveon is the man for the Super Eagles job? Do you think that we should shelve this idea of looking for a foreign coach and then settling for a local coach in Eguaveon? And you can also speak to the fact that the NFF had to bring in 2 managers of the Nigerian Professional Football League who were really impressed in the last season. Of course, talking about the coach of Rangers International, then the coach of Reno Stars. What do you have to say about that decision? And do you think it could go a long way in really shaping the Super Eagles side, ahead of the AFCON tournament in Morocco in 2025? Yeah, so just share your thoughts on the comment section. Thank you very much for watching us always. Bye for now.